What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Today Is the Day, entitled Animal Mother. This is released on Southern Lord Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very psychedelic, insane, and overall creative style of noise rock, implementing other formats of extreme music within their sound. I think Today Is the Day are an incredibly pioneering band within the style of noise rock and have done so for the last 20 plus years or so. This band has put out some very important and very influential music, I would say. I definitely think the best material this band's ever put out was definitely within the 90s and the first 5 albums of their existence. Supernova, Willpower, even their self-titled had some very crazy music going on. I love the structuring, I love the vocals, I just love the originality that that band brought with those particular albums. Even the last 2 albums to close out the 90s, most notably 1997's Temple of the Morning Star, and my personal favorite, Today Is the Day record, 1999's In the Eyes of God. That particular album was amazing. I love the craziness, I love the fear that it set in the listener, and not to mention it's an album that featured 2 very little-known musicians at the time, Bill Killier and Bran Daler, who of course whom you know nowadays as the bassist and drummer respectively for Mastodon. But that Today Is the Day album is where they pretty much got launched into the stratospheres, I would say. That was just an amazing record. But then, of course, soon after that, things continued to move along for this band. They continually made albums from 2002 to 2007. Then I guess there was a bit of a break of sorts, a hiatus of sorts. And then in 2011, Today Is the Day returned. New lineup in tow, new album, Pain is a Warning. I thought Pain is a Warning was just a fantastic record. It was a return to form of sorts, and definitely showcased why Today Is the Day have been so influential and so powerful, and why Steve Austin is an incredible singer-songwriter. That just an amazing album overall. So now we get to the 10th full length from Today Is the Day, entitled Animal Mother. As pretty much it seems to be a revolving door of band members when it comes to this band. There's another brand new lineup, another new drummer, and another new bassist added to the ranks of things. This is their 10th full-length album. It's 14 tracks, and it clocks in at around 45 minutes in length. And compared to Pain is a Warning, this seems to be a lot more mature and a lot more better structured than that previous record. There's just a lot of crazy twist and turn moments to find when you listen to this album. That's one of the things I enjoy the most about Today Is the Day, is the fact that they can deliver so many twists and turns and just surprise the listener. And I just think it's really crazy that they accomplish something so special when it comes to the overall music and ideas that this band brings. As per any sort of Today Is the Day release, Steve Austin puts on a riff clinic here and definitely delivers an incredible guitar performance. You hear the subtlety in the opening tracks, Animal Mother and Discipline, and then you hear some really crazed riffs with tracks like Imperfection and then God Crutch. I just think it's an insane guitar playing performance. He handles those riffs incredibly well. Very noisy, very loud, and very well executed. He is a very talented guitar player and definitely someone who knows how to handle the axe very well. There's even 2 versions of a track called Outlaw. There's an original version and then there is an acoustic version. The acoustic version is definitely something that makes this album stand out that much more. I definitely think the acoustic guitar playing on that track is just so insane. I love the creativity and I just love the overall story that song sets out to tell. Even on the track Bloodwood, you just get a lot of great guitar playing intersped with some really weird sort of psychedelic key effects going on. I just think that's a really crazy moment on this record, but more likely than anything, this is a guitar-driven sort of record, and I definitely think Steve Austin does another tremendous job with this particular album. Bass tone is very, very good. Just like the previous record, it definitely has a very audible, clear, and pummeling undertone. I love the way that this bass tone sounds. It's not domineering or overly powerful. It doesn't try to get in the way of the guitar playing, and I definitely think it handles itself very well, especially towards the more slower, drawn-out moments of this record. Um, Moving on to the drums, I think the drum work is incredibly solid here. I love the way that this drummer handles himself. One minute he can be very calm and patient, and the next minute he can just go straight up into blast beats and fast double bass. I just think it's a really multi-layered kind of drum performance, and I definitely think this guy handles the job here very well. Um, Going to tracks like Law of the Universe, I definitely think he delivers a really solid drum performance there. You get the instances of quick moments of blast beats and just overall creativity on that track. And then onto tracks like Masada and Mystic. I just think he does some great things with the drums here. I just think it's really amazing. And moving on to the vocals, that's another great thing to enjoy about a Today's the Day release, is the unexpectedness of the vocals. One minute you hear Steve Austin being wild and tormented and crazy, delivering his unique blend of growls and screams, and then in another instance, he begins to get calmer and just sing to you. That's wherein I bring in the acoustic cover of Outlaw again. I really love how he sounds on that particular track of Outlaw. It's just insane. He has a really great singing voice, that evil croon sort of style. It almost gives you that almost alternative hard rock sort of quality to this band, kind of like the instance of listening to an old country crooner. That's the kind of vibe I had gotten when I listened to Steve sing on Pain is a Warning, and then on Animal Mother, it's just that much more in-depth and crazy. I kind of wish this album had more of his singing, because it's a record that's mainly dominated by his growls and his screams, but yet once you hear him venture off into spoken word and crooning, I just think it's really awesome. I definitely wish this album had more of that, but oh well, what can you do? And speaking of Outlaw, I honestly could have done with just one version of it. I definitely prefer the acoustic version of it as opposed to the more intense and brooding sort of version that has some growls to it. I think that version of Outlaw is pretty good, but I could have honestly stuck with the acoustic version. That is the best version, and it blows away that other version easily. So overall, I think this is another really incredible album from Today is the Day. I definitely enjoy the direction that they have been currently taking with their style and sound. I think it's really out there and crazy. If you're a fan of what this band has put out in the past, I definitely think you're going to be enjoying this a great deal. So if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Animal Mother, Discipline, Imperfection, Law of the Universe, the acoustic version of Outlaw, Mystic, and the closing track, Bloodwood, which is just an insane closing track. So I'm going to leave you a link in the description box to the Southern Lord Bandcamp, where you can stream this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can buy it digitally through CD or 12-inch vinyl, and you can currently catch them live on tour. They are doing a tour with Lord Mantis right now, so if they happen to be coming anywhere near you, definitely make an effort to go and see them live. I think it'll be awesome. So again, the album is Animal Mother by Today is the Day. This is released on Southern Lord Records. Definitely check this out. And I'm going to give this a very, very strong 8 out of 10. Another crazy release from Today is the Day, but I definitely think this is the direction they're meant to be continuing on. So support Today is the Day. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks all for watching. Next, check out my channel, and until the next time, Army Hill out.